Welcome to this module on pivoting your data in Tableau. As you can see, I'm connected to a population data set in Excel, and I see each county and state and each year as a separate column within the data set. And that's the way that it's structured on the spreadsheet. However, what I'd like to be able to do is see what year-over-year analysis looks like and to look at one measure field with all of the populations. So what you can do is pivot your data. If you pivot measures, so if you select, hold down Shift with your first measure and go down to the last one that you'd like to select, right click and say Pivot. Now I have one field for my year and one field for my population. However, Tableau doesn't know what data you're looking at, so you just have to rename your fields. We'll name this year and this population. And so now I can do some year-over-year analysis. Now I have a year, population, and I can see how it grows by county. It's great. Before, I would have had to pull each measure onto the shelf and do some calculations to get the growth. Now all I would have to do is just create a table calculation. To see the growth. So that's great. A good example of this is if we're looking at the Superstore data set. You can even use this in this kind of instance. If you had given the user a parameter to select what measure they'd like, one way that you would naturally do it is to create a calculation that ties those things together. But here, if we pivoted the data, we're going to pivot all of our measures even though they're not the same ones. And we can pivot. And so now I see my measure names. I'm going to call this measures. And I'm going to call this values. Now I can give the user the ability to see what values they'd like to see. And so if we give them the measure names as a filter, now it's discount, profit, and quantity. And that is how you would pivot data in a couple of examples why you would want to. So thank you for listening.